Your intuition is lying, how anxiety fakes spiritual wisdom. You know that gut feeling you swear is guidance. Too often, it's anxiety wearing a spiritual wig. Trauma, stress, and sleep debt scramble your body's signals, then your brain slaps a wisdom label on fear. That's why smart people bail on great opportunities and call it intuition. In this video, I'll give you a 60-second test you can run mid-decision to separate intuition from anxiety. Then I'll teach you a simple CDC method, calm, data, context, to retrain your inner compass. And there's one secret step most people skip, base rates and context, that makes intuition reliable. Let's start with why your brain confuses them. Why your brain confuses intuition with anxiety. Your brain was built for survival, not perfect accuracy. It's biased toward false alarms because missing one threat once can end you. Reacting to 10 fake ones costs only some energy. The amygdala's motto is basically better safe than sorry, and that negativity bias primes you to overdetect danger. Great for ancestors on the savannah, not great for deciding whether to text back, accept a job, or set a boundary. Now add trauma. When something painful imprints, your nervous system learns fast. That's conditioning. It also generalizes, so cues that only rhyme with the old danger start firing alarms. A neutral tone of voice becomes rejection. A delayed reply becomes abandonment. Your body shouts, your mind scrambles for meaning, and boom, you call it intuition. Here's the kicker, interoception, your brain's read of internal signals like heart rate, breathing, gut, and muscle tone, gets noisy under stress. Caffeine, sleep debt, and conflict elevate arousal so much that ordinary sensations feel like warnings. Your heart pounds from coffee, but your mind says, something S off. The body shouts, move, and your story engine obliges. It must be a sign. When interoceptive accuracy drops, the system defaults to threat. That's adaptive for survival, but terrible for nuanced choices. Pattern matching makes it worse. Confirmation bias hunts for evidence that fits the feeling. Availability bias makes recent, vivid examples seem more likely than they are. Negativity bias overweights potential threats relative to neutral cues. You remember the one time your gut saved you, not the 10 times it spooked you out of something good. Once the narrative clicks, the relief you feel for avoiding discomfort becomes the proof. That relief is seductive and misleading. Under cognitive load, tight deadlines, poor sleep, emotional conflict, discernment drops. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that evaluates nuance, goes a bit offline. Everything feels binary, safe or unsafe, yes or no, aligned or not. Anxiety loves binaries. Intuition, real intuition, tolerates nuance. The cost of this confusion shows up everywhere. You pass on a solid collaboration because of a vague, bad feeling you can't name. You ghost someone kind because chemistry didn't feel like fireworks on date 2. You second-guess a boundary and then resent yourself for caving. Over time, this erodes self-trust. Each gut call that turns out to be fear-dressed as wisdom trains you to distrust your inner voice altogether. Let me give you a mini example. A client got a great job offer, values aligned, solid team, fair pay. Minutes after the call, their chest tightened, breath shortened, and a wave of dread hit. The story: something's wrong, my intuition is warning me. We paused and checked for base rates. Most transitions feel wobbly. Anxiety spikes around change even when it's right. We ran a quick body reset and wrote 3 facts for and against. For transparent hiring process, references checked out, role fits, strengths. Against, fewer familiar faces, new tools to learn, past job ended badly. The intuition softened once the body calmed. What remained was a specific concern, onboarding support. That's intuition, specific, actionable, not a global no. They negotiated a structured ramp-up and accepted. 6 months later, thriving. So what's happening under the hood? The nervous system tags sensations as either threat or non-threat before you're conscious of it. If your baseline arousal is high, more sensations are mislabeled as threat. Then your mind rationalizes. It feels instantaneous and convincing, which is why so many self-help myths stick. If it's hard, it isn't aligned. In reality, growth often feels awkward. A strong feeling means it's right. In reality, intensity tracks arousal, not accuracy. The first thought is your intuition. In reality, speed tracks habit and fear. There's also the relief trap. Anxiety seeks relief, intuition seeks clarity. If your decision pattern is feel spike right arrow, avoid right arrow, relief, your nervous system just learned avoidance works via negative reinforcement. The relief becomes the teacher. Soon, anything that reduces discomfort feels like wisdom, which is how spiritual gaslighting starts. My intuition says this is aligned. Translation: I'm scared of evaluation, uncertainty, or intimacy. Calling fear intuition protects the ego from shame and keeps you stuck. Before you think, so I can't trust my gut. You can once you calibrate it. Intuition is powerful when the signal is clear, quiet, specific, and consistent across states. Anxiety is loud, urgent, and diffuse, demanding immediate action without details. The trick is getting your body out of threat mode long enough to hear the real signal. 2 more distorters to name. First, base rate neglect, ignoring how things usually go for cases like yours. Most new skills feel clumsy at first. Most healthy relationships have awkward conversations. Most negotiations feel tense. When you ignore base rates, you misread normal friction as a spiritual no. Second, time horizon collapse. Anxiety compresses time into now or never. Real intuition doesn't panic about timing, it can wait 24 hours. So if your brain is primed for false alarms, trauma generalizes warnings, interoception gets noisy under stress, and your mind confirms the story, what's the fix? You need a simple process that cools the body, separates facts from feelings, and reintroduces context. That's why we'll use the CDC model, calm, data, context, and a 60-second clarity test you can run in the middle of any decision. Calm reduces noise, data anchors reality. Context checks base rates and time. When you do it in that order, your inner compass stops chasing relief and starts pointing to clarity. The 3 myths that make anxiety sound spiritual. Now here's where most people mess up. 3 catchy ideas that feel wise but actually reward avoidance. Myth 1: if it's hard, it isn't aligned. The thing most people miss is that comfort measures familiarity, not truth. Growth often feels awkward because your nervous system is leaving its routine. When you've got trauma in the mix, novelty gets coded as danger, so anything unfamiliar feels off. The reason this myth spreads is it gives instant relief. You can bail at the first wobble and call it sacred. But alignment isn't the absence of friction, it's the presence of values. A values-aligned decision might feel shaky and still be right. Quick reframe: aligned not equal to easy, aligned equals coherent with your principles over time. A simple test: after a body reset, can you name a specific mismatch, like the pace violates my capacity, or is it just a fuzzy bad vibe? Specific over strong. If you remember nothing else here, remember this: difficulty is feedback, not a verdict. Myth 2: a strong feeling means it's right. Intensity tracks arousal, not accuracy. High arousal floods the system, racing heart, tight jaw, shallow breath, so the story feels charged and urgent. That's the body lobbying for relief, not truth. Spiritual gaslighting sneaks in when we sanctify that charge. My intuition shouted at me. Real intuition doesn't shout. It taps you on the shoulder with a clear sentence and can repeat it tomorrow. This clicked for me when I noticed my no-s that stuck were oddly calm, like a steady not this, while my anxious no-s came with pressure to act immediately and dump the responsibility on fate. Shortcut nobody teaches: rate the sensation, not the story. Breath, gut, jaw, shoulders, hands, 0 to 3. If your body s at a 10 out of 10, your read is contaminated. Calm first, then ask for the message again. You'll either hear a specific, actionable concern, or the urgency will fade, which tells you it was anxiety looking for an exit. Myth 3: the first thought is your intuition. Speed bias comes from survival circuits. Fast is useful when a snake moves, not when you're deciding if you should move cities. Fast thoughts are often habits or protections, and when you've got a trauma template, the first thought is usually the oldest alarm wearing a new outfit. Why this myth spreads: it rewards certainty theater. Quick takes get applause, reflection is invisible. Here's the better rule: calm over quick. Give the signal 60 seconds of quiet and 1 pass through data and context. If it's real intuition, it survives the pause. If it's fear, it deflates as arousal drops. Micro-check: imagine saying yes and then imagine saying no. If one image produces a relief spike and the other produces steady clarity, you just found the difference. Relief is anxiety's currency, clarity is intuition's. Why do these myths go viral in self-help and spiritual spaces? They solve discomfort elegantly. Certainty sells. I just knew sounds cooler than I checked my base rates and waited a day. Social media rewards conviction, not calibration. Plus, avoiding discomfort looks like self-respect from the outside. No one claps for you doing 4 slow breaths before texting back. Okay, so how do we keep the good parts, listening inward without feeding the myths? We tether inner listening to checks. Try these quick reframes as mantras: align not equal to easy, specific over strong, calm over quick, then apply a micro-sequence. 1. Soothe before choose. 4 slow exhalations, unclench the jaw, drop the shoulders. 2. Ask, what exactly is the claim? If you can't write it as 1 sentence, it's not intuition yet. 3. Run a miniature context check. What usually happens here? First weeks feel clumsy, feedback stings at first, negotiations feel tense. If your no dissolves once you add base rates, you are arguing with the human condition. A tiny story to anchor this. A creator told me, my intuition says this collab isn't aligned. We ran the checks. After calming, the no turned into, I'm afraid I'll underperform live. That's not alignment, that's arousal. We added data, past live sessions went fine after rehearsal. Context: first collabs feel stiff, second ones loosen. New signal: yes, with a tech check and structured outline. That's intuition upgraded, calm, specific, persistent, and actionable. Before we continue, you need to understand the relief trap again, because it's the engine under these myths. If your body learns that labeling discomfort, unaligned, ends discomfort, it will keep serving that label. Break the loop by seeking clarity over comfort. Ask what would make this a yes. If there's a clear, doable condition, you're dealing with specifics. If the only relief is opting out, that's avoidance wearing beads. So the myths sound spiritual because they dress up protection as wisdom. We're not throwing away inner guidance, we're cleaning the signal. Calm the body, demand specifics, add context. Once you nail that, everything else clicks, especially when we drop the CDC model into your real decisions next. A reliable model, calm data context, CDC, intuition. The game changer nobody talks about is having a repeatable process for inner guidance. Not vibes, not quotes, a process, because when your arousal is high, the read is contaminated. CDC calm data context removes the gunk before you listen, and the order matters. If you flip it, you'll just rationalize your fear with numbers and call it wisdom. Calm, let me show you exactly how. 4 slow breaths with an exhale emphasis. Inhale through the nose for 4, exhale through the mouth for 6. Soften your jaw like you're saying ah. Drop your shoulders down and slightly back. Name your state in one sentence. I'm activated and afraid I'll mess this up. That sentence is a pattern interrupt. It shifts you from being inside the storm to observing it. 60 seconds here can save you 6 months of wrong turns. Now data, the thing most people miss is they collect opinions, not facts. You're going to write 6 bullets, 3 for 3 against. Facts only, examples. The offer matches market data, not it feels fair. Their past behavior shows reliability, not they seem nice. For a relationship decision, your for might be shared values, consistent follow-through and repair after conflict. Your against might be mismatched timelines, poor communication around plans, and unresolved deal breakers. For a career decision, for might be growth opportunities, aligned mission and supportive leadership. Against might be unclear role scope, high burnout signals, and vague compensation structure. If you catch yourself writing vibes, translate them into observable evidence. Then context, before you act, reinsert base rates and time. Ask 2 questions: what usually happens in situations like this, and over what time horizon does this matter? Base rates are the antidote to I'm uniquely doomed. Most new projects feel awkward for 2 to 4 weeks. Most healthy teams communicate expectations poorly once then adjust. Most first dates are ambiguous. Time horizon stretches you out of urgency. Will this decision matter in 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years? If the 3-week you is panicking and the 3-year you is calm, you're in an urgency tunnel, not a danger zone. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. If you remember nothing else, remember calm first. Because without it, your data is cherry-picked and your context collapses to now. Calm first or the rest is contaminated. Let me give you a micro story. A client kept ghosting promising opportunities. Pattern, feel interest, feel panic, disappear, feel relief, repeat. We installed CDC before replies. Calm, 4 breaths, jaw soft, shoulders down, namely state. I'm anxious, I'll be exposed as not ready. Data, 3 for previous collaborations went well, topic fits expertise, audience overlap is strong. 3 against, live format is new, timing is tight next week, unclear tech setup. Context, base rates, first live is awkward, second is smoother. Time horizon matters for growth over 6 months, not 6 hours. Decision, yes with parameters, pre-call tech check, structured format, date the week after. No ghosting, no drama. And here's the payoff. The nervous system learned a new association. Activation didn't require escape, it required structure. Now a few pro tips that separate beginners from pros. First, pre-commit your thresholds. For example, I don't decide when my sleep score is under 6, my caffeine is high, or I just had a major conflict. That's a safeguard against trigger thinking. Second, externalize. Write CDC on a sticky note or in your notes app with checkboxes. When it lives outside your head, you're less likely to improvise a justification you'll regret. Third, upgrade your data list with disconfirming evidence. One against has to be the best argument for the opposite decision. That forces you to steelman, not strawman. If your best counterargument is flimsy, that's information. If it's strong, maybe you delay, gather more information, or adjust terms. Fourth, widen context with a 2-chair consult. Present you versus future you. Ask future you, what do you wish I'd considered? Often you'll hear things like how this impacts your health, whether this aligns with your deeper mission, or how likely is it to compound over time. Anxiety zooms in, wisdom zooms out. Fifth, timebox the CDC cycle. You're not writing a dissertation. 90 seconds total when stakes are low, 30 to calm, 30 to jot data, 30 to check context. When the stakes are high, extend it, but set a boundary, like 20 minutes and then a scheduled follow-up. Common mistakes to avoid: doing data before calm and turning it into a research binge, confusing no evidence with bad evidence when the situation is simply early, and treating context as permission to delay forever. Context protects you from urgency, it doesn't excuse paralysis. How do you know the CDC pass worked? The felt sense changes from pressure to presence. You'll notice a quiet, specific sentence that doesn't argue for itself. Say yes if there's onboarding support, or have one clarifying call, then decide. It won't demand you act right now, and it will still be there after lunch. This clicked for many of my students when they realized CDC isn't anti-intuition. It's intuition's bodyguard. It escorts your inner voice past the bouncers, arousal, bias, and story, so you can hear it clearly. And once you run CDC a few dozen times, your baseline calibration improves. You'll start feeling the difference between relief-seeking and clarity-seeking before you even pick up the pen. Calm, data, context, in that order. Next, we'll make your body a better instrument by mapping how anxiety and intuition actually feel different. Body signals, anxiety versus intuition, feel different. Okay, so let's tune the instrument, your body. Anxiety and intuition both live in sensations, but they leave different fingerprints. Once you can feel that difference, you'll stop confusing relief for wisdom. Anxiety's signature is fast, loud, urgent, and diffuse. It shouts, "Do something now," without telling you what exactly. It pushes for relief, cancel, ghost, say no, escape. You'll notice a global activation, tight jaw, lifted shoulders, shallow breath, buzzing hands, churning gut. The story in your head tends to be global too. It's wrong, it's unsafe, I can't. And the signal changes with your state. After coffee, after a conflict, or late at night, it swells. Intuition's signature is quiet, specific, and persistent without pressure. It seeks clarity, not relief. It sounds like a sentence you could write down. Ask for a later start date, clarify scope before you agree, don't go to that party tonight. It doesn't argue for itself, it repeats itself. And it holds steady across states. After a walk, after a meal the next morning, it's still the same sentence. Before we label anything, run an interoceptive checklist. Rate each signal from to 3. 0 is calm, 3 is intense. Breath, are you holding it, breathing high and fast or low and slow? Gut, is there a tight ball, a twist, or a neutral fullness? Jaw clenched, lightly tense or soft. Shoulders, up by your ears, slightly elevated or dropped. Hands cold and clammy, tingling or warm and neutral. Add them up. If your total is high, your read is likely contaminated by arousal. Anxiety loves to borrow the body's microphone. Now a 30-second body reset to clear static. Exhale longer than you inhale, 4 in through the nose, 6 out through pursed lips twice. Drop your shoulders on the exhale like you're setting down a backpack. Soften your gaze, widen your visual field, let the jaw hang for 2 seconds and then settle. As you breathe, quietly name your state, activated and predicting failure, or jumpy and scanning for rejection. That sentence turns the volume down on the alarm without ignoring it. Once you've reset, ask the signal to be specific. If your intuition, what exactly are you saying? Wait for a clear, concrete instruction. Anxiety will push for a global no or a fast exit. Intuition gives you a direction you can act on or test. For example, anxiety says, "This job is wrong." Intuition says, "It's right if onboarding is structured and you get a mentor." Anxiety says, "They're bad for me." Intuition says, "Slow the pace to 1 date a week and watch reliability for 3 weeks." Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Watch for relief spikes. If imagining an exit gives you a fizzy, immediate relief, that's anxiety seeking to shut down arousal, again, negative reinforcement. If imagining a small, specific action gives you a steady, grounded yes, that's intuition. Relief reduces pressure, clarity creates direction. Common mistake, chasing relief instead of clarity. You'll feel a body spike, decide fast, get the and call it wisdom. That reinforces the loop. The fix is simple, ask for one clarifying step. If your body hates the idea of a clarifying call but loves the idea of cancelling, you found the relief bias. Do the clarifying call. Let me anchor this with a quick moment from a student. She felt a heavy no about presenting to leadership. We ran the checklist, breath 2, gut 2, jaw 3, shoulders 2, hands 2, high activation. After the reset, the global no turned into, yes, if I can present with a co-lead and get slides reviewed ahead. She asked, got the support, presented well, and the no never returned. Anxiety wanted out, intuition wanted conditions. Another tell, time tolerance. Anxiety compresses time, now or never. Intuition tolerates a 24-hour pause unless there's an actual safety issue. If your signal can survive sleep, it's more likely wisdom. If it evaporates after food, water, or a walk, it was just arousal. Also notice location and direction. Anxiety often feels like upward pressure, energy rising to the face, heat, tightness lifting. Intuition often feels like downward settling, a drop in the belly, a grounded weight, a softening behind the eyes. That's not a rule, but it's a useful pattern to track in your data diary. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this. Anxiety seeks relief, intuition seeks clarity. So breathe, soften, ask for specifics, and see whether the message holds after your state shifts. We're ready to turn this into a quick diagnostic. Next up is the 60-second clarity test, the fastest way to separate a relief impulse from a real inner yes. The 60-second clarity test. Let's make this practical. You can run this in the middle of a text thread, before you hit send on an email, or while you're staring at a calendar invite. It has 4 steps and 1 rule. Move fast but not frantic. Step 1. Name the threat your body predicts. 1 sentence, no commas. Say it out loud or write it. If I say yes, I'll fail and look stupid. If I don't reply now, they'll abandon me. If I take this job, I'll burn out. Keep it simple. The act of naming turns fog into an object. If you can't state it plainly, you're not dealing with intuition yet. You're dealing with noise. Now here's where most people mess up. They judge the emotion instead of classifying the signal. Step 2 is classification. 2 questions. Is the signal specific or vague? And is it about now or the future? A specific now signal sounds like, don't get in that car, the driver's drunk. A vague future signal sounds like, something's off. Maybe this whole plan is wrong. Specific beats vague. And present tense safety trumps far future storytelling. If you get vague and future, you've likely got anxiety riding high. If you get specific and now, pay attention but verify. Step 3 is the swap. Imagine the opposite outcome for 5 seconds. If your sentence was, if I take this job, I'll burn out, swap it to, if I take this job, I'll grow with support. If your sentence was, if I don't reply now, they'll abandon me, swap to, if I wait 24 hours, the connection will hold. Watch your body, not your thoughts. Relief spike or steady clarity. Relief feels like a quick exhale, a drop in pressure, maybe a tiny buzz of phew. That's the nervous system rewarding escape. Steady clarity feels grounded, like, yes, that tracks, without a rush. It's quiet, specific, and it doesn't demand you act right this second. Step 4 is the safety check. Can this decision wait 24 hours without real harm? If yes, it's not an emergency. Anxiety compresses time. Intuition can tolerate a pause. If you genuinely can't wait, rare, but it happens, run a mini CDC. 2 slow exhales, jot 2 facts, recall 1 base rate, then act. But 9 times out of 10, you can wait, and waiting exposes whether the signal is persistent or just arousal. Let me show you exactly how this plays out. You're about to cancel a coffee with someone promising because you feel off. Step 1. If I go, I'll feel awkward and waste time. Step 2. Specific or vague. That's vague. It's about a feeling, not an event. Now or future. It's presentish but non-specific. Step 3. Swap to. If I go, I'll learn something useful even if it's not a fit. Does your body flood with relief or settle with clarity? If relief surges at the idea of cancelling, you're chasing relief. Step 4. Can this wait 24 hours? Yes. You keep the date, but you add 1 clarifying question beforehand to aim the meeting. That's clarity-seeking behavior. Another example with higher stakes. A role opens at your dream company. Your sentence, if I leave my current job, I'll regret it. Classification, vague future. Swap, if I leave, I'll gain growth and stay within my health limits. Watch your body. If cancelling the whole idea gives you a fizzy relief, clock it. Safety check, you can wait a day. Sleep, then rerun. If tomorrow the sentence that remains is, only if the role has a defined scope and a realistic onboarding. That's intuition, specific, conditions attached, persistent. Common pitfalls. 1. Overthinking the sentence. Don't wordsmith. 5 seconds, write it ugly. 2. Confusing a calm no with a relief no. They both feel better than pressure, but a calm no is steady and specific. No, because timeline and values conflict. A relief no arrives like a pressure drop with no details. 3. Turning the swap into fantasy. Keep it realistic. Plausible opposite, not magical thinking. If you remember nothing else about this test, remember the interpretation rule. Relief spike equals anxiety. Quiet, specific persistence equals intuition. And yes, sometimes you'll be unsure. That's not failure, that's a cue. Default to CDC and delay. Calm the body. Collect 3 facts for and against. Reinsert base rates and your time horizon. Then rerun the test. A quick micro story. A founder messaged me. My gut says don't raise now. We ran the test. Threat sentence. If we raise, we'll lose control. Classification, vague future. Swap. If we raise, we'll extend runway and choose aligned investors. Body response. Immediate relief at not raising. Safety check. Could wait a week. After CDC, the persistent sentence became, raise only if we secure a lead with protective terms. That's intuition upgraded, specific and patient, not a blanket no. This is a 60-second ritual, not a ceremony. Use it before yes, before no's, and especially when you feel that urgent push to escape. The goal isn't comfort, it's clarity. Evidence, not ego. The decision pre-mortem. When the stakes climb, intuition needs receipts. Ego loves confident stories, risk hates them. A pre-mortem keeps you honest by assuming the decision failed and asking why. It sounds negative, but it's actually protective realism. You're not manifesting failure. You're surfacing what would make it fail, so you can design around it before you commit. Start with this prompt. It's 6 months later. This decision went badly. What are the top 3 plausible reasons? Plausible means boring, likely, not dramatic. For a job move, that might be unclear role scope, culture misfit, or unsustainable workload. For a relationship decision, it might be mismatched timelines, unreliable repair after conflict, or value drift. For a product launch, it might be poor positioning, underestimating operations, or weak distribution. Write 3. If you write 10, you're catastrophizing. You only need the top 3 failure modes. Now add base rates. This is the secret step most people skip. Ask, what usually causes failure in decisions like mine? Pull from industry norms, your personal history, or credible benchmarks. Most startups don't die from competition. They die from not finding distribution. Most job regrets come from culture and manager mismatch, not title or pay. Most relationship breakdowns are about repeated patterns, reliability and communication, more than chemistry. Base rates cut through the "I'm special" fog and point at boring truths you can check. Next, seek disconfirming data. The thing most people miss is they only collect evidence that supports their current leaning. You're going to Steelman the opposite. If you're leaning yes, ask, what would a smart skeptic say about this yes, and can I find evidence they're right? If you're leaning no, ask, what would a smart advocate say about this, and can I find evidence they're right? Then talk to one actual skeptic or opposite type friend. Not the chorus that always agrees with you. If you're optimistic, call the cautious operator. If you're risk averse, call the builder. Ask for their top 2 concerns or reasons to proceed. This isn't crowdsourcing your decision, it's widening your lens. Now clarify red flags and green flags. Red flags are non-negotiables. If you see them, it's a no or a renegotiate. Examples: lack of transparency in compensation, history of disrespect, poor safety practices, consistent unreliability. Green flags are must-haves. Clear expectations, evidence of repair after conflict, aligned values, sustainable pace, track record with people like you. Tolerables are the imperfections you'll accept with eyes open. Clunky onboarding, but a manager who coaches, early chaos with strong learning, lower initial pay with equity that matches your risk profile. Write these into a simple table so you don't move the goalposts mid-emotion. Turn this into a 1-page snapshot, decision statement, 1 sentence describing the choice. CDC summary, the specific intuition sentence that survived calm, data, context. Premortem, top 3 plausible failure causes. Base rates, 2 to 3 typical outcomes or risks in similar situations. Disconfirming data, the best counterargument you found and what changed your view. Flags, red, green, and tolerables. Next actions, what you'll do in the next 48 hours to validate or de-risk. Let me show you exactly how this feels with a quick story. A client was offered a director role at a fast-growing company. Their intuition sentence post-CDC was, yes if scope is clear and leadership supports boundaries. Premortem. Failure reasons were unclear scope creep, a hero culture that rewards burnout, and misalignment on decision rights. Base rates. Most step-up roles fail because scope is murky and authority is fuzzy. Disconfirming data. They spoke to a former employee who said the team improved after a new COO. They also spoke to one current team member who flagged that weekend work flares near launches. Red flags. No written scope, no direct access to manager, expectation of online availability at night. Green flags. Written OKRs, manager with a coaching record, an explicit no heroics policy. Tolerables. Messy first quarter. Output. Ask for a written scope, escalation path, and a now weekend clause on non-critical weeks. Offer accepted with those terms. 6 months later, thriving. The pre-mortem didn't kill the decision. It made it survivable. What if your pre-mortem surfaces a big red flag you can't change? That's your clarity. Either it's a no, or it's a smaller yes with guardrails. For example, yes to a 3-month pilot, yes with a hard stop if X happens twice, or yes only after Y is in writing. Intuition loves conditions because conditions are specific. Anxiety hates them because conditions require presence over panic. Common mistakes to avoid. 1. Turning the pre-mortem into rumination. Timebox it. 15 minutes for high stakes, 5 minutes for medium, 90 seconds for low. 2. Using it to justify avoidance. If every outcome analysis ends with therefore do nothing, you're optimizing for comfort, not wisdom. 3. Ignoring your own base rates. If your pattern is overcommitting, your red flags need to include no clear end date and no resource buffer. If your pattern is undercommitting, your green flags need to include learning edge and structured support. Here's a practice tip. Pair the pre-mortem with a commitment contract. Decide your next specific step and schedule it. The clarifying email, the reference call, the term you'll ask for. Put a 24-hour decision revisit on your calendar. You're training your nervous system that clarity leads to action, not just analysis. Evidence beats ego. Do the pre-mortem, not because you don't trust yourself, but because you want to protect your future self. When you combine CDC with a pre-mortem, you get a decision that's both felt and verified. That's intuition with a seatbelt. Next, we'll look at the trauma patterns that hijack the gut, so you can spot them in real time and stop confusing old alarms with present wisdom. Trauma patterns that masquerade as guidance. Before we go further, we need to call out 4 trauma-driven patterns that reliably dress up as intuition. They're not you being dramatic. They're your nervous system trying to keep you safe using old data. Name them, and you'll stop obeying them. Abandonment alarm. This shows up when neutrality reads as rejection. A delayed text, a flat tone, a rescheduled meeting. Your body shouts, "I'm being left." Attachment activation narrows your lens, so the only story that fits is loss. The signature, urgent seeking, double texting, withdrawing before you can be left, or slapping a spiritual label on avoidance like, "My intuition says step back." The antidote is soothe before choose. Run a 30-second reset, then translate the global fear into a specific test. Send one clarifying message, then wait 24 hours. If the alarm is trauma, urgency will drop after the reset. If there's a real misalignment, a specific pattern, reliability, will emerge. Pre-commit a rule. No relationship decisions inside a spike or after midnight. Control loop. Predictability feels like safety, so novelty gets coded as danger. You'll hear yourself calling anything unfamiliar, not aligned. The nervous system loves routines. Trauma doubles down and worships them. The signature is overplanning, demanding guarantees, or rejecting options that can't be fully mapped. Here's the rewire. Grade novelty into small reps. I'll try a 20-minute version. I'll join the meeting with camera off. I'll pilot the feature with 10 users. You're expanding your window of tolerance, one notch at a time. Use CDC to set conditions. Calm your body, data your real constraints, context the base rate that first times feel clumsy. Then pre-commit a rule. Novelty decisions require a pilot, not a permanent yes or no. Perfectionism shield. Not aligned becomes a refined way to say, "I'm scared to be evaluated." The signature is endless preparation, shifting standards, or rejecting opportunities with a holy-sounding reason. Intuition is values-driven. Perfectionism is shame-driven. Ask the diagnosis question. Is the bar I'm setting about service and impact, or about avoiding embarrassment? Then do an exposure light. Choose a B+ bar on purpose. Send the draft at 80%. Present with one slide rough edge. Ship a small version to a friendly audience. Pair it with a pre-commit. You'll solicit 2 pieces of feedback, then iterate. That converts align someday into align now, improving. Hypervigilance. This is scanning for danger and calling it discernment. It produces false positives because your detector is set to super sensitive. You'll catch a micro-odd cue and build a macro story. The signature, constant monitoring, exhaustion, and certainty that your read is special. Remember, interoceptive noise rises with arousal, caffeine, sleep debt. The reliable fix is to lower the baseline first. Sleep, hydration, a 10-minute walk, less caffeine, then CDC. Add a procedural rule. Don't act on signals gathered while activated. Regather after reset. Then seek disconfirming data on purpose. Ask one skeptic what you're not seeing. If the signal persists, it'll be specific by then. Now, how do you spot these patterns mid-decision? Use 4 questions. What's the predicted threat? What's the time pressure? What's the specificity? What's the condition that would make this a yes? Abandonment alarms predict loss and demand instant reassurance, offer no specifics, and can't name a condition. Control loops predict chaos and demand total plan clarity, dismiss pilots, and use the word always. Perfectionism predicts shame, insists on not ready, and can't define ready beyond moving goalposts. Hypervigilance predicts danger in broad strokes, produces many weak signals, and resists waiting. Rewires in action. 1. Soothe before choose. Exhale longer, drop shoulders, name the state. 2. Name the pattern. This is my abandonment alarm. This is my control loop. That gives you distance. 3. Pre-commit rules that keep you honest. No decisions with high arousal scores. Always run the 60-second test. Delay 24 hours unless there's true safety risk. For exposure in small reps, 5-minute call, 1 question email, 1 pilot client, 1 boundary said calmly without punishment language. Here's a quick micro-story. A client kept intuiting that collaborators were flaky. We tracked the pattern. Outreach, small delay, instant I knew it, counsel. We labeled hypervigilance. Rewire, CDC first, then a standard follow-up template after 24 hours, then a pre-mortem on reliability before labeling. Outcome, they rescued 2 great partnerships that were simply slow to reply and exited one that showed a real pattern. Missed deadlines plus blame. Anxiety wanted speed. Intuition wanted evidence. Another, a perfectionist founder felt her launch wasn't aligned every week. We reframed. It wasn't misalignment. It was fear of evaluation. Rewire. B+ launch, 50 user pilot, feedback within 72 hours. Her body hated it, then calmed when real data arrived. The no never returned. The product improved. If you remember nothing else, name the pattern, soothe before choose, and trade global exits for specific conditions. Trauma imprints may never vanish, but once you see their costumes, they stop passing as wisdom. Intuition versus anxiety in relationships. Let's apply this where most people feel it the strongest, relationships. Early dating is a minefield for arousal masquerading as truth. Chemistry is arousal. Compatibility is values, pace, and reliability. Chemistry says, fireworks. Compatibility asks, do our calendars, commitments, and conflict styles actually work? Here's the thing most people miss. High spark with low reliability is a nervous system carnival ride, not a green flag. Run a quick CDC pass before you label a vibe. Calm. 2 slow exhales, jaw soft, shoulders down. Name your state. Activated and predicting rejection. Data. 3 facts for, 3 against. For might be, they text consistently. They follow through on plans. They show curiosity about my world. Against might be, they're vague on intentions. They cancel last minute without repair. Values on substance use /time/faith don't match. Context. First 3 dates are noisy. Base rate says reliability patterns show up within 3 weeks, not 3 hours. Attachment shows up in the gut checks. A secure signal feels curious and specific. Ask where they see this going by next week. It's calm, it tolerates a day, and it's testable. An anxious signal feels urgent and ruminative. If they don't text in 10 minutes, it's over. That's time compression and mind reading. Use the 60-second clarity test. Threat sentence. If they don't reply now, I'm being abandoned. Classify vague future. Swap. If I wait 24 hours, the connection holds. Notice your body for relief versus steady clarity. Safety check. It can almost always wait. Now the workflow for pull away or lean in. Start with a 30-second reset. Exhale longer, drop shoulders, soften gaze, name the state. Move to CDC. 3 facts for and against. Base rates about early dating awkwardness. Time horizon of 3 to 6 weeks. If you're still unsure, 24-hour wait. Then take 1 clarifying action. Ask a specific question, propose a concrete plan, or observe 1 more reliability moment. Intuition gives you a precise step. Anxiety pushes you to exit for relief. Boundaries are where spiritual language often hides anxiety. Intuition says, no, without punishment or tests. It sounds like, I'm not available for last-minute plans. Happy to schedule for the weekend. It stands even if the other person reacts poorly. Anxiety adds tests and threats. If you cared, you'd call right now. That's control. A clean boundary is a statement plus a choice, no sermon. No sleepovers yet. I leave by 10. Or, I don't do repeated cancellations. If it happens again, I'll step back. Notice the clarity. Specific, enforceable, no drama. Here's a micro story. A client kept saying her intuition told her to cut things off after date 2 if there wasn't instant magic. We ran CDC. Com first. Data revealed the against bullets were all arousal-based. Didn't feel butterflies. Text cadence slower than mine. Awkward silence. Context added base rates. Most secure connections warm up over 5 to 7 hours of time, not 90 minutes. We built a rule. Pursue compatibility signals for 3 weeks. Chemistry can catch up. She tested it with a values-aligned person. Reliable, kind paced. The butterflies showed up in week 4. Her old intuition was hypervigilance and novelty discomfort. The upgraded signal was specific. Continue unless reliability fails twice. What about the opposite? Staying too long because the bond is intense. Use red, green, and tolerable flags. Green flags. Consistent follow-through, repairs after conflict, aligned values on the big rocks, money time, family health, and mutual pacing. Red flags. Contempt, coercion, chronic unreliability plus blame, and boundary-punishing behavior. Tolerables. Different hobbies, mild texting style mismatch, early awkwardness. If you can only name vibes and not flags, you don't have intuition yet. You have mood. Now, check for the trauma patterns. Abandonment alarms exaggerate silence. Control loops demand relationship guarantees. Promise we'll never hurt each other, which is impossible. Perfectionism makes not aligned a cover for I'm scared to be seen. Hypervigilance hunts micro-oddness and declares macro-truths. Name the pattern out loud. This is my abandonment alarm. Then run the 60-second clarity test. Threat. If I say how I feel, they'll leave. Classification, vague future. Swap. If I share calmly, we'll get data. Safety check. Can it wait a day? Then take one specific action. Send. I like this pace and would love to plan next week. How's Thursday? See what reliability does. Intuition loves data. Anxiety avoids it. Repair is a great intuition detector. Intuition says, have the hard conversation. Anxiety says, avoid, ghost, or punish. Try this. I felt off when plans changed last minute. I need same-day clarity next time. Can we agree on that? If the answer is ownership and attempt to repair, that's a green flag. If the answer is blame, minimization, or testing you back, that's a red flag. No sermons needed. One more workflow for conflict. Soothe before choose. State the specific need. Offer a small, testable path. Observe response over 2 to 3 instances. Intuition tracks patterns, not single spikes. If your body relaxes at the idea of canceling hard conversations and tenses at the idea of one clear ask, that's relief bias. Do the ask. If you remember nothing else for relationships, prioritize compatibility over chemistry, run CDC before big labels, and let boundaries be simple, specific, and punishment-free. Clarity feels calm and patient. Anxiety feels urgent and dramatic. Use time to test which one you're hearing. Intuition versus anxiety in career and money. Let's take this to work, where anxiety loves to masquerade as strategy. Career and money decisions are ripe for loss aversion. Your brain overweights potential losses compared to gains, so fear feels objectively smart. The fix isn't to ignore risk, it's to read it correctly. Intuition points to fit and conditions. Anxiety points to escape. Run a quick CDC before you label a gut feel. Calm, 2 long exhales, jaw soft, shoulders down, name your state, activated and predicting loss. Data 3 for 3 against, facts only. Context, base rates and time horizon. Most role changes feel clumsy for 2 to 4 weeks. Most healthy teams clarify scope after you ask, not before you join. Most negotiations feel tense and still end well. If your no dissolves when you add these base rates, that was anxiety doing theater. Risk perception next. Loss aversion, our tendency to overweight losses relative to equivalent gains, screams, don't move. True misfit signals are about values, health, and learning. Values, does the mission align with what you're proud to serve? Health, will this pace, commute, or schedule break your body? Learning, will you grow in ways that compound? Intuition says yes if the pace is sustainable and scope is clear. Anxiety says no because new equals danger. Use an opportunity filter to separate noise from signal. Mission, energy, growth, people, score each 1 to 5. Mission, how aligned is the work with your values? Energy, do you feel net charged or net drained after interactions? Growth, clear skills stretch with support. people, reliable, respectful, coachable. If a role scores 4-5 on mission and people but 2 on energy because of temporary ambiguity, that's often a yes with conditions. If it scores high on money and title but 2 on people and mission, that's usually a shiny no. Now the quit versus iterate decision. Don't let anxiety call everything misaligned when it's just friction on the learning curve. Try the 30-30-30 rule. 30 days for the learning curve. Are you still in the awkward first lap? 30 for performance curve. Are your outputs improving with feedback? 30 for culture fit. Are norms and communication improving with honest asks? Intuition tracks improvement and specific blockers. Anxiety wants out at the first dip. If after 90 days your scores on learning and performance are trending up but culture is flat and violating your non-negotiables, your intuition might say, quit with a bridge plan. If everything is trending up, stay and iterate. Negotiation anxiety is a classic relief trap. Anxiety says, drop your ask to end the discomfort. Intuition says, ask clearly, then tolerate silence. Workflow, reset your body, gather market data, comp bands, role scope, comparable offers, write a simple script and practice silence tolerance. Script like, based on market data and scope, I'm targeting X, Y, how close can we get? Then breathe through the pause. If you feel a relief flood at the thought of accepting less just to end the pause, name it. Relief equals anxiety. Clarity equals conditions and patience. Money choices often carry spiritual language, abundance, alignment that can hide impulsivity or avoidance. Keep spirituality grounded by anchoring to base rates and time horizons. Before a big purchase or investment, ask, what usually happens with choices like this for people like me? Over what time horizon does this matter? If the 3-week you is thrilled and the 3-year you is anxious, that's a short-term dopamine trap fueled by present bias. Intuition tolerates a longer horizon and asks for verification. Common mistake, boredom equals misalignment. Often boredom means you're at a skill plateau. The fix isn't always leave, it can be stretch. Define one growth vector, mentoring, new tech stack, cross-functional project, give it 30 days. If energy returns, you had a plateau, not a misfit. If energy stays low and people and mission score low, now you have a real misalignment signal. Let me show you this with a quick story. A client wanted to decline a promotion. Threat sentence, if I accept, I'll burn out. Classification, vague future. Swap, if I accept with boundaries and support, I'll grow. Relief spiked at declining, classic anxiety. We ran CDC. Data for values-aligned manager coaches, clear OKRs. Against scope creep risk, launch cycles heavy, unclear decision rights. Context, base rates said step-ups fail from fuzzy scope and hero culture. Pre-commit conditions, written scope, escalation path, no weekends clause except critical launches and a second hire in Q2. They negotiated those terms and accepted. 3 months later, working hard but not fried. That wasn't positive thinking, it was intuition with conditions. If you remember nothing else for career and money, score opportunities, don't vibe them, run 30-30-30 before exits, negotiate with silence, and treat boredom as a prompt to stretch before you quit. Anxiety chases relief. Intuition sets conditions and waits for evidence. Spirituality without self-gaslighting. Let's talk about keeping your spirituality strong without letting fear cosplay as wisdom. Trust doesn't mean turning your brain off. Real faith pairs courage with checks. You can hold a spiritual lens and still ask, what evidence supports this nudge? That's not cynicism. That's stewardship of your attention, energy, and relationships. Here's the thing most people miss. Signs aren't answers, they're prompts. If every sign conveniently removes discomfort, that's not guidance. That's your nervous system lobbying for relief. So we're going to tether your spiritual practice to 3 anchors: test randomness, separate voices, and align with principles. First, signs versus self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're always looking for green lights to exit scary paths, you'll find them. Instead, test for randomness. Decide the test ahead of time, or don't test at all. For example, if this is a yes, let 3 unrelated confirmations show up this week, and define unrelated as different people and contexts. More importantly, ask for 1 disconfirming sign. If this is a no, let 1 credible obstacle appear that isn't just inconvenience. Then keep acting in alignment until the disconfirming sign appears. You're training yourself to not cherry-pick comfort. Second, separate the wisdom voice from the fear voice in writing. Open your journal, breathe, soften, and label 2 columns, wisdom and fear. Wisdom writes in calm, specific, respectful language. Ask for X, set Y boundary, wait 1 day, then call. Fear writes in urgent, punitive, global terms. Do it now, they'll leave, you'll fail. If you see urgency and punishment, pause. That's not spirit, that's survival. If you see a clear sentence that still makes sense tomorrow morning, that's a candidate for intuition. Third, the aligned action checklist. Intuition that's worth trusting lands inside your values and season of life. Run 4 filters: values, service, sustainability, season. Values: does this choice honor your top 3 principles? Name them, say integrity, learning, care. If the action requires hiding, faking, or burning bridges, it's probably anxiety in a robe. Service: who benefits beyond your ego? A real nudge often includes contribution, teaching, helping, building, not just escape or status. Sustainability: can you repeat this behavior without wrecking your health? If the yes requires adrenaline subsidies or boundary breaking, it's not aligned, it's extractive. Season of life: does this fit the reality of your current commitments? Caregiving, recovery, early stage career. Intuition respects reality, anxiety demands exceptions. Now here's the game changer: align with principles, not moods. Pre-commit simple spiritual principles that govern your decisions when you're calm, then obey them when you're activated. Examples: I don't make permanent decisions in temporary states. I ask for clarity once before I assume rejection. I verify with one piece of data before I exit. These principles cut through mystical storylines and protect your future self. Let me give you a quick practice sequence that merges spirit and science. Soothe before choose, 2 long exhales, jaw soft, shoulders down, then a 1-sentence prayer or intention. Show me the next right step that serves truth and care. Write the first sentence that arrives. If it's specific and doable, keep it. If it's grand, vague, or urgent, translate it into one next action and schedule it for tomorrow. Then run a micro-context check: what usually happens when I take this step? If the base rate says, awkward first try, better second, bless the awkward and proceed. Here's a micro story. A client told me, God is telling me to quit today. We ran the spiritual plus CDC flow. After calming, the wisdom voice wrote, tell the truth about capacity, ask for a transition plan. Data showed values alignment and decent leadership, but unsustainable workload. Context said most teams adjust when asked clearly. Principles said no permanent decisions while sleep deprived. New guidance: speak, set conditions, plan a 3-month exit if they won't adjust. She had the conversation, got a scope reduction and a second hire, and stayed. The original quit now wasn't evil. It was a frightened body seeking relief and borrowing divine authority. A word on spiritual communities and gaslighting yourself. If the culture rewards certainty and quick downloads, your nervous system will learn to package fear as revelation. Create a 2-step rule. I share impressions as impressions, not decrees. I verify impressions with one concrete test. Say, I'm sensing a pause, so I'll revisit this in 24 hours and gather one piece of data. That sentence preserves humility and keeps you from bulldozing yourself or others. Also, notice punishment language. Wisdom doesn't threaten you into obedience. If your guidance says, if you don't do this now, you'll be punished, pause, that's fear. Wisdom might warn specifically, if you ignore your body, you'll crash, but it will pair the warning with a path, not a whip. Finally, give your spirituality a scoreboard you can't fake. Track decisions you labeled intuitive, the conditions you set, and outcomes at 2 checkpoints, 4 weeks and 4 months. You're not grading yourself, you're calibrating. If your intuitive no's correlate with relief and later regret, you've got a relief bias, avoidance reinforced by short-term soothing. If your intuitive yeses correlate with calm conditions and steady progress, keep going. Spirituality gets stronger when it's grounded. Trust the quiet, specific, persistent voice. Pair it with CDC, test your signs, live by principles. That's how you keep faith without letting fear wear a halo. The daily calibration routine. You don't need a retreat to recalibrate your inner compass. You need small, repeatable reps. Think of this as maintenance, not repair. We'll anchor it to your day so intuition has a clean channel more often than not. Morning, 3-minute body scan and a values reminder. Right after you wake up, before scrolling, sit or stand and sweep attention down your body. Head, jaw, neck, shoulders, chest, belly, hips, legs, feet. Ask, tight, loose, or neutral. Don't fix yet, just notice. Then breathe with a longer exhale twice. Now name your top 3 values out loud: integrity, learning, care, or whatever yours are, and tie them to one intention. Today I make decisions that honor integrity by saying what I mean, learning by asking one clarifying question, care by leaving buffer time. This primes your filter so later, when a gut feeling pops up, you can ask, does this serve those values, or is it just anxiety asking for relief? Midday, the 60-second clarity test before yes-no decisions. Set a tiny rule: any new commitment, purchase, or boundary gets the test. 1-sentence threat, specific or vague, now or future, swap the outcome. Relief spike or steady clarity. Safety check, can it wait 24 hours? If yes, park it and put a reminder on your calendar. If you're in a rushy day, couple this with a micro CDC, 2 slow exhales, jot 2 facts, recall 1 base rate, then act. You'll be shocked how often urgency evaporates once you breathe and write 9 words. Evening, debrief, was the signal calm, specific, persistent? Think of this as a quick calibration audit, 2 to 3 minutes. Skim your day and pick one decision you framed as intuition. Answer 3 questions in your notes. Was the signal calm or urgent? Was it specific or global? Did it persist after a meal, a walk, or sleep? Then score yourself lightly, 1-2 for clarity. If you labeled anxiety as intuition, don't shame yourself. Write the tell you missed, like relief spike tricked me, or no specifics. You're building a pattern library so tomorrow's reads are cleaner. Weekly, run a pre-mortem on one upcoming high-stakes call or choice. 10 to 15 minutes, calendar it like a meeting. Assume failure, list the top 3 plausible causes, add base rates, gather 1 disconfirming piece of data, write your red and green flags, then turn the outputs into 2 next actions. This keeps your intuition honest when ego wants the wheel. Safeguards pause decisions during acute trigger, illness, or sleep debt. Create a standing rule you can't override when activated. No permanent decisions in temporary states. If your sleep is wrecked, your caffeine is high, or you just had a conflict, you delay 24-72 hours unless there's immediate safety risk. Put this rule where you'll see it, notes app title, pause rules. Add 1 more, no texting novels, 1 clarifying sentence, then wait. You're protecting future you from present arousal. A quick day in life example. Morning scan, you notice a clenched jaw and lifted shoulders. Values, learning and care. At noon, a limited time workshop offer shows up. You feel a jolt and want to buy to end the tension. You run the 60-second test, threat sentence, if I don't buy now, I'll miss my chance to grow. Classification, vague future. Swap, if I wait 24 hours, I'll choose a fit without regret. Body shows relief at buying right now, aha anxiety. Safety check can wait, you park it and add a calendar note. After lunch, you do a micro CDC, calm breath twice, data 3 for 3 against, context, base rates say worthwhile workshops don't vanish forever. Evening debrief, you write, urgent, vague, relief seeking was anxiety. Score 2 for clarity. Weekly, you pre-mortem a performance conversation. Failure causes, unclear ask, defensive tone, lack of examples. Base rates, repair improves when specifics and ownership are present. Action, write 2 specific requests, schedule the talk when rested. The routine did its job, no drama, more signal. Now how do you make this stick? Habit stack and automate, put the morning scan next to your coffee. Label your phone alarm 60-sec clarity test at lunch. Keep an intuition log note with 3 bullet templates. Today's test, today's CDC, today's tell. Friday afternoon, pre-schedule next week's pre-mortem. And share the pause rules with a decision buddy, someone who texts you delay or decide when you're spun up. One last nudge, your goal isn't to never feel anxious. It's to not let anxiety impersonate wisdom. 3 minutes in the morning, 1 minute at midday, 3 minutes at night, 15 weekly, that's under 30 minutes total. Those reps compound, your body quiets faster, your signals get specific, and your choices start matching your values more than your mood. Advanced techniques, building a trustworthy inner compass. You've got the basics. Now let's sharpen the instrument so your reads stay accurate under pressure. Think of this as strength training for discernment. Small doses, repeatable drills, clear feedback. Interoceptive training first. You're teaching your brain to read your body with less noise so anxiety has fewer places to hide. Dose low, track. Try a 60-90 second cold exposure, cool shower finish or face dunk while breathing slowly with longer exhales. Label sensations without story, cold on cheeks, chest tightness 2-3, breath rate 2-3. End when your breath stays steady for 2 cycles. Add breathwork once daily, 4 seconds in, 6 out for 2 minutes. On 2 days a week, do mindful strength, slow squats or push-ups while tracking breath, jaw, shoulders. Note your interoceptive score before and after. If scores drop, you're building signal to noise. If you spike, lower the dose. The goal isn't toughness, it's clarity under load. Next, a data diary. Intuition gets trustworthy when you measure it. Keep a simple log, date, decision, intuition, sentence, confidence, 100, conditions you set, action taken, outcome at 4 weeks and 4 months. Add 1 column, relief or clarity at the time, R or C. Over 10 to 20 entries you'll see patterns. Maybe your 80-90% confidence reads are solid, but your 60-70% reads correlate with relief. That tells you when to delay and gather data. Bonus, record the interoceptive score you felt at the moment. If high scores correlate with later regret, you've got proof to obey your pause rules. Social calibration sharpens the edges you miss. Consult 2 opposites, your optimistic friend who sees possibilities and your skeptical friend who spots risks. Give them the same 1-page snapshot. Decision, CDC intuition sentence, top 3 plausible failure causes, base rates, and your flags. Ask each for 2 bullets. What am I underweighting? What would make you flip your recommendation? You're not outsourcing the decision, you're triangulating. If both types repeat the same concern, like scope is fuzzy, listen. If they split in predictable ways, use that to balance your bias. Now exposure therapy light, graded challenges to widen your window of tolerance. Anxiety shrinks your world, training expands it. Choose one domain, relationships, career, visibility, and design a ladder with 5 rungs from easy to hard. Visibility example: post a short text note to a small audience, record a 60-second video, host a 10-minute live, deliver a 15-minute talk to your team, present to leadership with a co-lead. Before each rep, run a mini CDC and set one condition. After, log your interoceptive score drop and outcome. The thing most people miss is they jump to the top rung, get overwhelmed, and confirm their fear. Ladders create wins your nervous system can trust. Add a meta rule that upgrades your decision process more than your feelings. When a decision goes sideways, ask, was it the process or the feeling? If process was partial, no base rates, no disconfirming data, fix the process first. If the process was clean and the outcome still strung, you faced normal variance. Don't demote intuition for randomness. This mindset keeps you from blaming your gut for what your checklist missed. 2 advanced drills to tighten calibration. 1. The 2-timer test. If your intuition sentence is the same after 2 sleep cycles, it earns more weight. If it mutates daily, it's mood. 2. The 10-10 pre-commit. For choices you tend to avoid, commit to asking for 10% more than your comfort, 10% more rate, scope, clarity, or time, then tolerate 10 seconds of silence after the ask. Log your hit rate. You'll learn that silence isn't danger, it's processing. Let me show you exactly how these stack together in practice. A designer wants to raise rates and fears losing clients. Interoception, 2 minutes of 4-6 breathing, note jaw tension 2-3, shoulders 1-3, hands 1-3. Data diary entry, raise 15% if scope, clarity, and turnaround times are documented. Confidence 70, current state R, relief leaning. Social calibration, optimist says add value bullets, skeptic says clarify revision limits. Exposure ladder, start with one long-term client who loves them, script the ask, tolerate 10 seconds of silence. Meta rule, if outcome is no, review process, not self-worth. Outcome, client counted at 10% with clearer scope. 4-week check, revenue up, stress down. 4-month check, pattern validated, calibration up. Common pitfalls in advanced work: overdosing, cold exposure, and spiking arousal, keep it brief. Turning the data diary into a novel, use bullets, not essays. Seeking 10 opinions instead of 2 opposites, more isn't clearer. Using exposure ladders as avoidance, endlessly building rungs without climbing. And forgetting to celebrate process wins. Every clean CDC rep counts, regardless of outcome. Finally, create a monthly calibration review. In 20 minutes, scan your diary. Find 3 decisions where clarity matched outcomes and extract what worked. Find 1 where relief snuck in and mark the tell you missed. Update your pause rules and ladders accordingly. You're not chasing perfection, you're tightening tolerances so your inner compass stays trustworthy, even when life gets loud. Case studies, applying the framework. Let's run this in the real world. 4 quick cases, 4 clear takeaways, so you can see CDC, the 60-second test, and Premortems doing their jobs without drama. Case 1, dating text silence trigger versus secure workflow. Jenna goes on 2 good dates, then a day of silence. Her body screams, they're ghosting. She wants to send a testing text or bail. We run the 60-second clarity test. Threat sentence, if I don't text now, I'll be abandoned. Classification, vague future. Swap, if I wait 24 hours, the connection holds. She notices a relief flood at the idea of pushing for reassurance, anxiety. Safety check, can wait. Now CDC, calm, 2 long exhales, jaw soft, shoulders down, activated and predicting rejection. Data for they initiated date 2, they proposed a plan, they mentioned next weekend. Data against, slower texting style, 1 late reply. Context, base rate say early cadence is noisy, reliability shows in 3 weeks. Action, send 1 clarifying specific text the next morning, enjoyed Saturday, interested in Thursday at 7. Response, yes, let's do it. Pattern after 3 weeks, reliable planning, steady curiosity. Outcome, Jenna learned her abandonment alarm dresses as intuition on day 3, and a 24-hour wait plus a clear ask prevents self-sabotage. Case 2, job offer, money spike versus values, culture and base rates. Malik gets a big raise offer from a flashy brand. His body says yes to the money and no to the ambiguity. We slow it down. CDC, calm, 4 breaths, name it, amped and predicting regret. Data for comp band top quartile, roll a line to his craft manager with coaching references. Data against, scope fuzzy, hero culture rumors, weekend work near launches. Context, base rates say step-ups fail from fuzzy scope and unclear decision rights, not comp. 60-second test, threat, if I accept I'll burn out. Classification, vague future. Swap, if I accept with scope, clarity and boundaries I'll grow. Relief spikes at declining now anxiety. Premortem, 3 plausible failure causes. Scope creep, heroics rewarded, misaligned authority. Disconfirming data, talk to a former and a current employee. He learns a new COO reduced chaos, but launches still surge. Flags, red no written scope, no escalation path, green written OKRs coaching manager. Output, yes if conditions, written scope, escalation path, no weekend clause for non-critical weeks, hiring plan, they agree. 3 months later he's stretched, not fried. Conditioned intuition beats the money spike. Case 3, creative leap, fear of visibility versus staged exposure. Priya wants to start a newsletter but calls it not aligned. We suspect perfectionism shielding fear of evaluation. CDC, calm, data for people ask her for her notes, she shipped drafts before she has a small audience. Against, fear of criticism, time confusion, perfection loop. Context, base rates say first 10 issues are awkward, clarity improves with feedback. 60-second test, threat, if I publish I'll be judged. Classification, vague future, swap, if I publish to a small list I'll learn. Relief, spikes at staying private, anxiety. Exposure ladder, send to 5 friends, then 20 subscribers, then a public post by issue 5. Premortem, failure modes, no cadence, harsh feedback, blurry focus. Mitigations, write short, define a niche promise, request 2 pieces of feedback per issue. Meta rule, B+ bar. Outcome, by issue 6 she finds her voice. 1 harsh comment stings, but her data diary shows growth and steady clarity. The not aligned story dissolves, she sees it was shame avoidance. Case 4, friendship, boundary intuition versus people-pleasing anxiety. Andre has a friend who cancels last minute and jokes at his expense. He feels guilty setting a boundary, so he spiritualizes his avoidance. My intuition says detach with love. We test that. 60-second test, threat, if I bring it up I'll lose the friendship. Classification, vague future. Swap, if I ask cleanly we'll repair or I'll get clarity. Body. Tension at the ask, relief at silent exit, anxiety. CDC, calm, data for friend shows up big in crises, shared history, good one-on-ones. Against, repeated last-minute cancels, minimizing jokes, no prior repair attempts. Context, base rates say friendships improve with specific requests or fade when resentment grows unspoken. Boundary script, statement plus choice, no punishment, I value our time. Last-minute cancels are tough for me. Can we confirm day of by noon? And jokes about X are off limits. Pre-commit, if it happens twice more in 2 months, step back. Outcome, friend apologizes, improves scheduling, slips once then adjusts. The relationship stabilizes. Andre learns that intuition says a calm no or a clear ask. Anxiety prefers ghosting dressed as wisdom. Extracting principles. 1. Calm first, every case started by lowering arousal so the read wasn't contaminated. 2. Specific signals, intuition produced yes if conditions, anxiety produced global exits. 3. Evidence check, premortems and disconfirming data kept ego honest. 4. Small reps, pilots, 24-hour waits, ladders, all turned fear into feedback. 5. Flags over vibes, red, green, and tolerables beat, it feels off. Try this now, pick 1 live decision, write your threat sentence, classify it, swap it, safety check, then run a 90-second CDC. If you're leaning yes, name the yes if conditions. If you're leaning no, name what data would flip you. That's how you turn gut into guidance you can trust. Troubleshooting, when everything still feels like noise. If everything still feels like static, lower arousal first. Sleep debt, caffeine spikes, and simmering stress jack up interoceptive noise. Rule 1, hydrate, eat something steady, take a 10-minute walk and do 2 rounds of 4-6 breathing. Then rerun CDC. If the signal changes with state, it was arousal, not intuition. Now neurodivergent realities. With ADHD or depression, executive noise can mask gut sense. Externalize decisions, write the threat sentence, the yes if conditions, and the next microstep on paper or in your notes app. Use timers and decision templates so working memory isn't the bottleneck. If focus is low, default to delay and CDC after reset. Health checks matter. Hormones, blood sugar swings, pain, or illness can tilt reads. If you're in a flare, treat all big choices as provisional. Run the 24-72-hour rule. Grief, acute conflict, or trigger hangovers distort perception. Delay unless safety is at stake. Put no permanent decisions while sleep-deprived or sick at the top of your pause rules. When you remain unsure, get a decision buddy. Share your 1-page snapshot and ask for 2 things, a disconfirming angle and 1 concrete next step. If you keep asking 5 people, you're outsourcing courage, cap it at 2 opposites. If you're looping, you're probably chasing relief. Force a clarifying action, 1 question, 1 small test, or a pilot. If the thought of testable data tightens you while avoidance soothes you, that's your tell. Move toward data. Finally, accept that some variance is noise by design. A clean process can still yield a tough outcome. Don't downgrade your calibration for randomness, upgrade your safeguards. Quick recap plus implementation map. CDC first to decontaminate, 60-second test to classify, premortem to verify. Do 1 live rep today, write your threat sentence, swap it, run the safety check, then add 1 yes if condition. This week, stack habits, morning values check, midday clarity test, evening 2-minute debrief, 1 weekly premortem. Forever rule, calm first, specific over strong, delay if unsure. Clarity compounds, reps beat perfection. Key takeaway, intuition is quiet, specific, and persistent. Anxiety is loud, urgent, and relief-seeking. Run the 60-second clarity test on your next decision, then watch the advanced decision-making video for deeper reps. Subscribe for weekly mental models to cut through noise and protect your future self.